Remember that everything that you go through in this life is a lesson. There is something to be learnt from every situation, every environment that you're in, and every person that you come into contact with. I've got my cup of tea, got my bushy hair. Hello kings and queens, and welcome back to the Art of Life and Love. My name's Joanna and I'm here to help guide you on your spiritual healing journey and your mental health healing journey. If you would like to check out the rest of my channel, I've got plenty of videos on spiritual and mental health and how you can improve those things. I also have a blog of the same name as my channel where I've posted personal poetry as well as mental health tips and spiritual health tips on that page. I also have a tarot blog on there where I offer tarot services. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click on the links down below. It'll take you to my blog as well as my social media pages. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, Reddit, TikTok, where I post daily tarot readings, things like that. Everything that you need to find out is in the link down below. Today, I've chosen to take the time out of my very busy schedule and talk to you guys about gratitude. Gratitude has actually played a massive part of my healing journey, and you guys have seen the journey that I've been on. You just have to go back to my videos and see my growth, see my pain, see the things that I've been through and how I've overcome them. And a huge part of that journey that I've been on is the practice of gratitude. Daily gratitude, daily affirmations, reframing negative beliefs, reframing what I see, what I speak over myself, what I speak over my life. And I've chosen to come and sit down with you guys today so I can give you 5 tips on how you can practice gratitude and incorporate it into your daily routines. I promise you that once you've started to practice the gratitude daily, once you start to reframe the way that you see your life, the way you see the world, it will have a huge impact upon your mental and your spiritual health. First of all, what is gratitude? Gratitude is the practice of being grateful. Being grateful for the things in your life, being grateful for the things that you have, looking at things from a very positive aspect, looking at things from a place of abundance instead of a place of lack, instead of a lack mentality. It's very easy to slip into negative mindsets, places of lack, feelings of why haven't I got what I want yet? Why am I not in the place where I want to be right now? And it's very easy to fall into this negative spiral where we kind of just view our whole lives through this very dark lens, to the point where we actually miss out on a lot of the light and positivity, love and blessings that are in our life. Especially if you're like me and you suffer from depression, anxiety, OCD, PCOS, any of these things that are associated with physical or mental pain. It can be very easy to see through this lens of darkness, to see through this lens of lack. And I promise you, as soon as you start looking through a lens of gratitude, your life will turn around pretty quickly. So without further ado, here are the 5 ways that you can practice gratitude daily. Number 1. For those of you who have seen my morning routine video, for which I'll put a link up here, you will know that I practice gratitude daily every morning. I have a gratitude journal, and in that journal, as part of my morning routine, every morning without fail, I will write in that journal 3 things that I am grateful for. Now, on my best days, it'll be I can't even limit myself to 3. I'm grateful for this and this and this, and there are just so many things that are wonderful in my life and it's amazing. But on my dark days, where I'm seeing everything through that dark lens, what I try to do is still write down at least 3 things that I'm grateful for. And if you really are in a space of darkness and you cannot think of 3 things in your life that are positive, you can be grateful for the very, very, very most basic things in your life. When I'm super depressed and I wake up in the morning and I literally can't think of anything to be grateful for, I'll write down 3 basic things. And those things can be, I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I woke up in my own bed this morning, that I have a roof over my head, that I have air in my lungs. I am grateful for my freedom, for my ability to choose this morning what I want to do. Even if you're in a space of complete detriment, depression, darkness, anxiety, insomnia, OCD, all of these horrible, horrible things that happen to us, you'll still be able to practice gratitude daily by just naming those 3 basic things that you're grateful for. And I promise you, if you try this every day for a minimum of 21 days, you will see a drastic improvement in your outlook and mentality. Because what gratitude does is it reframes what we think we know. And it asks us to see the good. It asks us to see the positive. And in that way, because you are focusing on the positive instead of on the negative, you are naturally raising your vibration. You are naturally raising those feelings of positivity. And you are reminding yourself that there is still good in your life, even when you cannot truly see it. 2, the second way that you can practice gratitude on a daily is by reframing your negative statements. Every single one of you will have at least one negative phrase that you repeat almost on a daily that is negative, that doesn't serve you, and that has a very limiting outlook on life, where you are presenting a limiting outlook on life and a self-limiting belief. One that I can relate to very personally is I hate my living situation. I don't like where I'm living because of the environment, because of the history. If you guys want to check out what I've been through last year, you can go ahead and check out my videos. But I'm still in this house. I'm still in this house with my abuser's stuff in the room next to me. I'm still in this house with narcissists living here and people that I don't even speak to living here. It's a very uncomfortable living situation. And even though this house is beautiful and big and the garden and the flowers and everything around me is beautiful, every day I will speak negative over my living situation because of how it's affecting me and because of my past and the trauma associated with this place. And ways that I've tried to reframe this negative belief, negative statement, instead of being like, I hate my living situation, my life can't start until I'm out of here, why am I struggling to find a place to live out of here? I've started to try and reframe that negativity. One example is, instead of I hate my living situation and I wish I wasn't here, it could be I am grateful that in my journey towards looking for my forever home, in my journey towards finding a place of peace and sanctuary, that I have a roof over my head, that I have a very beautiful and spacious place to film my videos. I am grateful that I have my own room with my own bathroom that is a type of sanctuary that I can retreat to from the rest of the house. And in reframing my mentality, I am beginning to view this place less as a restrictive, confining, traumatic environment into one that is filled with peace that I have created, and also one that I am grateful for. I am grateful that I'm not homeless. I am grateful that I have this place to be whilst I look for my next home. And therefore that takes away some of that negativity. It takes away some of that, oh, I hate being here, every single second that I'm here is torment. And it turns it into, this is just temporary. And whilst it's temporary and whilst I look for my new home, I am grateful that I have a roof over my head. And as soon as you start to reframe these negative ideas and repeat them to yourself as positive statements, you will begin to see the actual concept, the actual thing that you were initially negative about, as a positive in your life. And that will release a lot of burden from your shoulders, and it will allow you to live more again from a place of abundance instead of a place of lack. Number 3, here's an exercise for you. Why don't you take a piece of paper right now, and you can pause this video, and I want you to write down every single thing that you have right now that you didn't have last month? Go ahead, pause the video, I'll wait. Hopefully you guys have a very long list of things that you have now that you didn't have last month. Now, second exercise, I'd like you to repeat that, but with everything that you have now that you didn't have this time last year. Go ahead, pause the video. Hopefully you will have 2 long lists showing you exactly how far you have come, exactly how much you have grown, and exactly how much you have gained in the last year. And now that is something to be grateful for. This can be an exercise that you repeat at the end of every month, at the end of every quarter, or at the end of every year to show yourself how far you have come and how much you have to be grateful for, how much progress you've made, how much you've grown as a person. For me, examples would be, I have a partner now, whereas I didn't have a partner last year. And I have a partner who I love deeply and provides me with so much tenderness and love and kindness and support. And I didn't have that this time last year. So that's something I'm massively grateful for. I also didn't have a side business last year. I didn't have something that I was actively charging people money for, a service that I was providing. That's something that I didn't have this time last year. But it could be a little bit smaller. I didn't have this length hair last year. My hair was shorter and I've been trying to actively growing it for a very long time. And this time I've got longer hair than I did last year. And so on and so on. I bet there are thousands of things that you forgot about that you haven't written on your list. And I bet there were a couple things on that list that you had forgotten about until I asked you to remember and write them down. It is very easy to get caught up in your day-to-day sadness. It is very, very easy to let depression rob you of your joy and try to tell you that you don't have anything or anyone or anything to be positive or happy about. But when you remind yourself on a regular basis, you will start to see your growth and you will start to see your healing quite literally on the paper in front of you. Number 4. For the 4th way that you can practice gratitude in a healthy way is to avoid toxic positivity. Now, what do I mean by toxic positivity? Well, for example, imagine your friend comes to you and they are complaining because they have a very abusive partner, very abusive, and they are detailing all of the things that that partner does to them, either psychologically or physically. Now imagine you were to turn around to your friend and say, at least you have a partner. Yeah, that's toxic positivity. When you are told to ignore or reframe your traumas to see them from a positive light, that is called toxic positivity. And it is different from reframing negative statements and negative self-beliefs. When you tell yourself that you should be happy in a situation that you definitely should not be happy in, that is toxic positivity, and it will do a lot more damage to yourself, your self-esteem and your self-worth than anyone else could. You are allowed to be unhappy. You are allowed to want more for yourself, and you are allowed to walk away from things that don't serve you without someone trying to tell you that you should be grateful for having those things. There is a difference between being grateful and practicing gratitude and remaining in a negative state of mind because you feel as though you don't deserve more. Of course, you should leave that abusive relationship. Just because the other person has been yearning for a relationship and you have one, it doesn't mean that just having a relationship, you should be grateful for it. If the relationship is not serving you, if you are being physically or emotionally traumatized, you can walk away and allow yourself to see that for what it was, a negative and traumatic situation, without having to reframe it or see it as a positive thing. Number 5. So my 5th tip for practicing gratitude is to remember that everything you go through in life is a lesson. Referring back to my previous example about someone who has been through an abusive relationship, I would never say that you should be grateful for being in an abusive or toxic relationship. But what I would say is that if you have been through that kind of situation, and I myself, as you all know, have been through a very traumatic situation in terms of my past relationships. And I would never look back at my situation and go, I'm grateful that it happened. But what I will do is I will look back and say, I am grateful for the lessons that I have learned that I can now apply to my present and to my future. Remember that everything that you go through in this life is a lesson. There is something to be learnt from every situation, every environment that you're in, and every person that you come into contact with. And one way that you can practice gratitude is to not practice toxic positivity and try to override what you've been through, but it's to acknowledge that what you've been through has changed you as a person for the better. That you have learnt lessons that you can now carry forward with you, that you have grown as a person because of what you've been through, without glorifying what you've been through. I myself have taken everything that I have been through up until this point in my life and applied it to my healing journey and to my growth. And as much as I would love to be like, oh, I'm so grateful everything happened to me last year, obviously it would have been way better if it hadn't. But I can take the lessons learned and I can move forward with them and be grateful that I can provide them to my healing journey and to my growth. I can be grateful that I've grown as a person because of what I have experienced in my life. And when you start to, again, reframe what you've been through and take away the positives whilst leaving behind the negatives, you'll start seeing a huge difference in the way that you perceive your reality and the way that you perceive yourself. So there you have it. Those were my 5 top tips for practicing gratitude daily and applying them to your life in order to improve your mental, physical, and spiritual health. I hope that these points have made sense. I hope that they have helped you. I hope that they continue to help you. Remember that we can't just do these things once and see a huge improvement. These things take time. Gratitude practice is just that, a practice. It is something that needs to be practiced over a long period of time in order to see any sort of result. And I promise you, if you just pick one of the tips that I have mentioned today and run with them try a week, then maybe 2, maybe 3, you will start to see a natural, and it won't be overnight, you won't wake up one morning and just be like, boom, but it will be a natural progression of change in the way that you view yourself and your situations. And I promise you, you will see good results and positive results. With that said, if you have liked my video today and you would like to check out more, go ahead and press that subscribe button. Also press that bell notification so that you get notifications whenever I release my videos. At the moment, I'm just releasing them whenever I feel called to make a video. So that's why it'd be pretty good if you could press the notification button so that you can get notifications as soon as my videos come out. Go ahead and press that thumbs up button, and if you can, just comment something for me down below, maybe even something that you're grateful for yourself. On that note, I'm grateful for you, my lovely viewers, for tuning into my videos. Thank you so much for your love and support. I hope you are all having an amazing mental, spiritual, and physical health week, and I will see you next time. Bye.